The case of Kyron Horman, a missing child's mystery. A vanishing that still haunts us. Imagine dropping your child off at school, watching them walk inside, thinking they're safe. Hours later, you get a call. Your child never made it to class. They're gone. No one saw what happened, no clues, no clear suspects, just vanished. This is the heartbreaking case of Kyron Horman, a 7-year-old boy who walked into school on a normal morning and was never seen again. What happened to him? And why, after all these years, is this case still unsolved? The morning of the disappearance. It was June 4th, 2010, in Portland, Oregon. 7-year-old Kyron Horman was excited. His school, Skyline Elementary, was hosting its annual science fair. For weeks, he had been preparing his project on red-eyed tree frogs, eager to show off what he had learned. That morning, Kyron's stepmother, Terry Horman, drove him to school early so he could set up his display. She even took a photo of him standing proudly next to his project, grinning in his navy blue CSI t-shirt. That photo would later become the last known image of Kyron. Terry later told investigators that after walking around the science fair with Kyron, she left the school around 8:45 a.m., assuming he would head straight to his classroom. Other parents and teachers saw Kyron in the hallways, seemingly engaged in the excitement of the event. But when roll call was taken, his name was never marked as absent or present. No one noticed anything unusual at first. Because of the open nature of the science fair, students were moving between classrooms, and teachers assumed Kyron had simply gone to another room. The school was bustling with parents, volunteers, and children, making it difficult to track every student's movements. But as the day progressed, something was clearly wrong. Kyron was not in his scheduled classes. His desk remained empty. Yet no one reported him missing, believing he was simply elsewhere in the building. It was an oversight that would later haunt school staff and investigators. By 3:30 p.m., Kyron's father, Kyron Horman, and stepmother, Terry, went to pick him up from the bus stop. But as the bus arrived, Kyron was nowhere to be seen. When the driver was asked where he was, she delivered the shocking news. Kyron had never boarded the bus. Confused and increasingly alarmed, Kyron and Terry called the school. The horrifying truth quickly unraveled. Kyron had never been in class at all that day. School staff immediately searched every classroom, restroom, and hallway, calling his name. The surrounding grounds, including the playground and wooded areas near the school, were combed through. But there was no sign of Kyron. By 3:45 p.m., the school secretary called 911. Within hours, police and search teams arrived, launching what would become the largest missing child investigation in Oregon's history. Helicopters, search dogs, and hundreds of volunteers joined in, scouring the area for any trace of Kyron. But despite the intensive efforts, there was no sign of the little boy. The child who had been so eager to present his project that morning had seemingly vanished into thin air. Panic sets in. Kyron's father, Kyron Horman, and his mother, Desiree Young, were divorced but shared custody. Though Kyron primarily lived with Kyron and his stepmother, Terry Horman, he remained close with his mother. That afternoon, when Kyron and Terry went to pick Kyron up from the school bus stop, he wasn't there. At first, they assumed there had been some kind of mix-up. Maybe he had stayed late at school, or maybe he had ridden a different bus. But when the bus driver confirmed that Kyron had never boarded, confusion turned into immediate concern. Terry called Skyline Elementary to check on him. The school secretary's response was shocking. Kyron had never been marked present in class that day. His teacher had assumed he was absent, even though multiple people saw him at the science fair that morning. No one had noticed he was missing. No teachers had reported his absence. No school staff had seen him leave. None of his classmates remembered anything unusual. He had vanished in broad daylight. The school launched a frantic search, combing through every classroom, hallway, and common area. Staff checked the cafeteria, restrooms, and even the parking lot, but Kyron was nowhere to be found. At 3:45 p.m., the school secretary dialed 911. Within minutes, law enforcement officers were dispatched to Skyline Elementary. Word spread quickly. Parents, teachers, and volunteers joined the search, calling Kyron's name throughout the school grounds. But as the minutes stretched into hours, a terrifying realization set in. Kyron wasn't just missing, he was gone. The massive search effort. As soon as authorities were notified, a massive search operation was launched. What began as a local effort quickly escalated into one of the largest missing child investigations in Oregon's history. Hundreds of volunteers combed through neighborhoods, fields, and the dense forests surrounding Skyline Elementary. Search and rescue teams, along with K-9 units, scoured trails, ravines, and bodies of water near the school, hoping to pick up Kyron's scent. Helicopters and drones were deployed to cover the vast wilderness from above. The FBI and multiple law enforcement agencies joined forces, treating the case as a potential abduction rather than just a lost child. Authorities questioned teachers, parents, and students, trying to pinpoint exactly when Kyron was last seen. The last confirmed sighting remained a photo taken by Terry Horman at the science fair. But after that, his movements were a mystery. Police also checked security cameras, traffic footage, and local businesses, hoping to catch a glimpse of Kyron outside the school. But there was nothing. No sign of him leaving, no reports of a suspicious person, and no clear evidence of what had happened. Despite their exhaustive efforts, there was no trace of Kyron. Days turned into weeks, and hope for a quick resolution began to fade. Investigators faced a troubling reality. There were no eyewitnesses, no surveillance footage, and no obvious suspects. But as they dug deeper, they noticed inconsistencies in one person's story, and soon the case took an unexpected turn. The suspicion around Terry Horman. From the very beginning, Kyron's stepmother, Terry Horman, was at the center of the investigation. She was the last known person to see Kyron alive. Her timeline had gaps that couldn't be explained. People began to question her behavior after Kyron's disappearance. Terry claimed she left Skyline Elementary around 8:45 a.m., assuming Kyron had gone to class. She then said she spent the next few hours running errands, including going to a local gym and driving her baby daughter around to soothe an earache. But investigators struggled to verify her movements during a crucial, unaccounted-for period of time that morning. Her whereabouts between 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. were unclear, raising red flags. Surveillance footage from the gym did place her there, but only for a short period. What she did before and after remained uncertain. Then came a shocking twist. Kyron's father, Kyron Horman, later revealed that police told him Terry had allegedly tried to hire a landscaper to kill him months before Kyron vanished. The landscaper came forward after the disappearance, claiming Terry had approached him with the disturbing request. Law enforcement conducted an undercover sting operation to try to catch Terry confessing, but it didn't work. Without hard evidence, no charges were filed. Still, the revelation deepened suspicions against her. As the investigation continued, more concerning details emerged. Friends and acquaintances described Terry's behavior after Kyron's disappearance as cold and unemotional. She never actively participated in search efforts and showed little visible grief. Terry reportedly failed multiple polygraph tests related to Kyron's disappearance. While polygraphs are not admissible in court, they added to investigators' doubts about her truthfulness. She was known to have a strained relationship with Kyron and Desiree, Kyron's biological parents. Some reports suggested she resented Kyron and felt overwhelmed by her role as his stepmother. Then Kyron made another shocking move. He filed for divorce and a restraining order against Terry just weeks after Kyron went missing. He claimed he feared for his and their infant daughter's safety, citing the murder-for-hire allegations. As pressure mounted, Terry refused to cooperate with investigators. She stopped speaking to law enforcement, declined interviews, and refused to take further polygraph tests. The public and media turned against her, but despite intense scrutiny, no concrete evidence ever linked her to Kyron's disappearance. Was Terry truly involved, or was she an easy target in a desperate case with no answers? The mystery only deepened as time passed. A murder-for-hire plot? In the weeks after Kyron disappeared, investigators made a disturbing discovery. This case wasn't just about a missing child. Kyron Horman, Kyron's father, was allegedly the target of a murder-for-hire plot. A man named Rodolfo Sanchez, a landscaper who had worked for the Hormans, came forward with a shocking claim. He told police that months before Kyron's disappearance, Terry had approached him with an unsettling request. She wanted Kyron dead. Sanchez claimed that Terry had asked if he would be willing to kill Kyron in exchange for money. The details of how she allegedly planned to carry this out remain unclear, but the very fact that such an accusation existed made investigators and the public look at Terry in a whole new light. Despite the seriousness of the allegation, no charges were ever filed. Authorities conducted an undercover sting operation, hoping to catch Terry admitting to the plot, but it failed. There wasn't enough concrete evidence to arrest her. Still, the accusation had major consequences. The moment Caney learned of the murder-for-hire plot, he took their young daughter and left the house. He immediately filed for divorce and obtained a restraining order against Terry, claiming he feared for his safety. The revelation sent shockwaves through the case. Terry was now not just Kyron's last known caretaker. She was a woman with an alleged history of plotting against her own husband. To many, this raised an unsettling question. If she was capable of allegedly planning a murder, could she have also been involved in Kyron's disappearance? Public suspicion against Terry intensified. Her behavior was scrutinized more than ever. She refused to answer many questions from law enforcement. She declined multiple polygraph tests or performed poorly on them. She never actively joined in search efforts for Kyron. Her silence only made her look guiltier in the eyes of the public. But without direct proof linking her to Kyron's disappearance, the case stalled. Years later, Terry continued to deny any involvement in both the alleged murder-for-hire plot and Kyron's disappearance. Was she truly responsible, or was she being unfairly blamed in a case full of unanswered questions? To this day, the truth remains unknown. Strange behavior and unanswered questions. As the investigation continued, Terry Horman's actions only raised more suspicions. She failed multiple polygraph tests. Though polygraphs aren't always reliable, the fact that she reportedly struggled with multiple attempts made investigators and the public uneasy. She refused to cooperate fully with law enforcement. While she did answer some questions, her unwillingness to participate fully made it harder for police to rule her out. She allegedly sent flirtatious messages to another man just days after Kyron vanished. While grief affects people in different ways, this behavior struck many as unusual given the circumstances. She seemed more focused on herself than on finding Kyron. Instead of pleading for the public's help or showing emotional distress, she remained relatively quiet, rarely addressing the case in depth. Despite all of these red flags, there was no physical evidence tying her to Kyron's disappearance. Without clear proof, police couldn't arrest her, leaving the case in limbo. Where could Kyron be? Theories and speculation. To this day, no one knows what truly happened to Kyron. Several theories have emerged, but none can fully explain his disappearance. Theory 1. Terry Horman was involved. Many believe Terry had something to do with Kyron's disappearance. She was the last known person to see him alive. Her timeline had inconsistencies. She was allegedly involved in a murder-for-hire plot against Kyron Horman. Some suspect that she may have harmed Kyron herself or handed him over to someone else for reasons unknown. One unproven theory is that she may have given Kyron to someone she knew as part of a custody dispute or out of resentment toward Kyron and Desiree. But with no physical evidence or witnesses, police could never charge her. Theory 2. Kyron was abducted by a stranger. Another theory is that a stranger kidnapped Kyron from the school. The school was open to the public that morning for the science fair, making it easier for a potential abductor to slip in unnoticed. But no one reported seeing Kyron leave with a stranger. There were no signs of a struggle. No security footage or forensic evidence suggested an outside intruder. If a stranger took Kyron, how did they do it without anyone noticing? Theory 3. A trafficking ring. Some speculate that Kyron was taken by a child trafficking ring. Large-scale school events like science fairs can be prime targets for traffickers, as they create crowded environments where children can be separated from adults. Kyron was young, vulnerable, and trusting, making him an easier target. But no confirmed trafficking operations were linked to the area at the time. No leads or physical evidence suggested this was the case. Theory 4. A tragic accident. One lesser discussed theory is that Kyron may have been injured or suffered an accident at the school, and someone covered it up. Schools can be dangerous environments with places to fall or get hurt. If Kyron was seriously injured, someone might have panicked and hidden the truth, but there were no reports of injuries that day, and hiding an accident would require multiple people to stay silent. Theory 5. A targeted abduction. Some believe Kyron's disappearance was not random, but a planned abduction by someone who knew him. If someone Kyron trusted led him away, it would explain why he didn't resist. The lack of struggle or evidence suggests it was a carefully executed crime. But no known suspects beyond Terry fit this theory. Each of these theories has holes. None can fully explain how a 7-year-old child could vanish without a trace in a crowded school, a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. The ongoing investigation. Is there hope? More than a decade has passed since Kyron Horman vanished, yet his case remains one of the most haunting and frustrating unsolved child disappearances in the U.S. Despite years of searching, no arrests have been made and no definitive answers have been found. His mother, Desiree Young, refuses to give up. She has remained vocal in the fight for justice, appearing in interviews, organizing awareness campaigns, and working with law enforcement to keep the case active. She continues to push for Terry Horman to be held accountable, believing that she knows more than she has admitted. In 2020, Desiree filed a lawsuit against Terry, accusing her of being responsible for Kyron's disappearance. The lawsuit was an effort to uncover more information, force Terry to answer questions under oath, and keep the case in the public eye. However, the legal battle faced challenges due to the lack of direct evidence linking Terry to Kyron's disappearance. Despite this, Desiree has remained steadfast in her belief that justice will come. Law enforcement insists that the case remains open and active. Over the years, investigators have followed thousands of leads, conducted extensive searches, and even brought in specialized forensic teams. They have combed through forests, analyzed surveillance footage, and interviewed countless witnesses. Yet every promising lead has seemingly led to a dead end. Police still consider Terry a person of interest but have never been able to charge her. There is still hope. Advancements in forensic technology, such as DNA testing and digital analysis, could one day reveal new evidence. Sometimes missing person cases take decades to solve, only to be cracked by a breakthrough discovery or an unexpected confession. It is possible that someone out there knows more than they've admitted. Someone who, for whatever reason, has kept silent all these years. Kyron's case has also remained in the public consciousness, thanks in part to his family's relentless pursuit of answers. His name, his face, and his story continue to be shared, keeping the pressure on investigators and reminding the world that he has never been forgotten. Until the day comes when the truth is revealed, Kyron's family and supporters will not stop searching. They believe that somewhere, someone holds the key to solving this mystery. Whether it's a witness coming forward, new evidence emerging, or a long overdue confession, there is still hope that one day justice will be served. Where is Kyron Horman? The case of Kyron Horman is a painful mystery that still haunts his family, his school, and the entire community. More than a decade has passed, but the questions remain the same. What happened to Kyron that morning at Skyline Elementary? How could a child vanish without a trace in a crowded school with no confirmed witnesses? His mother, Desiree Young, has never stopped searching for answers. She continues to push for justice, convinced that Kyron didn't simply disappear, someone took him. Over the years, she has urged law enforcement to take action, even filing a lawsuit against Terry Horman, who remains the primary person of interest in the public's eyes. Despite this, no charges have ever been filed, and Terry has always maintained her innocence. Meanwhile, Kyron's father, Kyron Horman, has remained largely private, but he too believes that Terry holds the key to what really happened. After learning about the alleged murder-for-hire plot, he immediately left with their daughter and filed for divorce, cutting all ties with Terry. The lack of physical evidence, eyewitnesses, or a definitive theory has left this case frozen in time. Was Kyron taken by someone he knew? Did a stranger slip in unnoticed and abduct him? Could he still be alive somewhere, waiting to be found? Someone out there knows the truth. Do you think Terry Horman was involved, or is there another explanation that has yet to be uncovered?